welcome to another fun-filled, happy episode of Stinkin, Thinkin with Robert and Chandra. I'm Robert.
And I'm Chandra.
And we've been seeing each other, dating, cohabitating for...
a little over 2 months.
We've had some ups, mostly ups. We've had a few downs, but we've got through it. It seems like we always have a little dip in there in each week that we spend together, but we get through it. And so what we like to do in this podcast is we like to talk about the ups and the downs, how we get through it, how we try and not let Stinkin' Thinkin' control us, I guess, right?
Sure, yes.
And what is your experience with how you control Stinkin' Thinkin'? What do you use to promote a positive attitude?
Oh, well, that's really putting me on the spot.
I know, that's why I do it. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, So basically, what we like to do in this podcast, we are not relationship experts. We are putting that right out there. Do not think we have had perfect relationships in the past. We have not. We are getting married on November 20th. This will be my 5th marriage, and this will be your
third.
And basically, the people that we've had in our lives, in our past, has not been the best people. We've had a lot of crummy partners, I guess you could say, and people that had issues that couldn't work through their issues, and made it that much more difficult to have a relationship with, I guess you could say. Is that fair?
That's fair. And just to review, I'm 50 and Bobby's 55, and we think there are other people who are probably our age going through the same issues, only it's not in the forefront of everybody knowing it, because mostly young people talk about getting married and relationships. And we just decided that we don't want to live together. We want to get married. And like he said, we've only been together 2 months, but this is what we're doing.
Yeah. And what really confirmed that this was the woman I wanted to spend the rest of my life with was that we had so much in common. She likes Sam Kinison. I love Sam Kinison. We had mutual likes in music. We liked the same things on TV. We're both big fans of Night Court. And sometimes when you have a little bit of an age difference, there can be a little difference in likes and dislikes, but for us, I mean, it was pretty. I mean, it was almost like it was just meant for us to be together. We are in my game room, my computer room, streaming room / game room, and I have arcade machines. I have about a total of 6 in this game room. And one of the things she told me was that you liked Galaga, the video game Galaga. I have 2 machines in here that has Galaga on it. So when I told her that, her immediate response was, well, now we have to get married. So, we just have so much fun together. And I knew that this was the woman I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Whatever issues we have, we can work through it. And we are both Christian people. We're not perfect Christian people, but we are working on that. We go to church every Sunday, and today's message was really powerful, really incredible. I think there hasn't been one church service where where it hasn't been directed at us personally, at the things we've been going through. It's like, wow, the things that we've been going through in that week, it just, on that Sunday morning, it just goes over each and every little detail, the issues that we've had and how to resolve it. So it's been really cool. And so Chandler's got some notes on that. But before we get to that, we got to talk about how our week went, and we had a little issue. Yeah. And I can't remember what day. Was that a Monday or was that a Tuesday?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know either. It could have been on a Tuesday. And the issue was, should I go into detail how our days?
Let's just start with our living arrangements and why this was an issue for us. What started the problem?
Okay, so we have 2 roommates that live upstairs, and actually we have 3 roommates. We have a couple that lives in one room, and we have a single gentleman that lives in the other, and they're both friends. We've had a few issues in the past with the fact that the couple do not pick up after themselves, and so but the daily routine is at 5 o'clock in the morning. We'll get up, and Chandler will go into the bathroom and do what she needs to do to start out her day before I take her to her mom's house. So she only lives within just walking distance of where she works at the school. Or do you want to talk about what you do for a living?
No.
No? Okay, that's okay. It's private. Anyway, so we so I take her to work. I take her to work, and that's our routine. Or no, I take her to her apartment, and then she continues on finishing up, getting ready. She puts on her makeup, takes a shower, or whatever she needs to do. So Tuesday morning, we got up, and the alarm clock went off, and she went to get up and use the restroom, whatever she needs to do. And there happened to be the one half of the couple upstairs, the male half of that couple, who was taking a shower. Now, if you're going to take a shower when there's other people who also need to get to work, you tend to make it shorter. That wasn't the case. He was in there for the whole entire time, before we had to finally just give up and just decide that we weren't going to be able to use the bathroom and go to work. Well, for whatever reason, that really bothered Chandra.
Let's stop for a minute.
Uh-oh.
No, I think what's missing in this narrative is we get up every morning and we're out of this house within 30 minutes, and then they're still here. And then I've been here when Bobby has left for work because I've had the day off, and I hear them get up after we would have normally left, do their business, and they leave within half an hour.
Right.
But for the 2 months that I have lived over here, they have never gotten up in the morning and tied up the restroom.
Yeah.
And so the issue is because they always shower at night after they come home. If they would not have been able to do that, they could have texted us and say, hey, we got to take a shower. Can we arrange something? But no, it wasn't just like getting up and going to the bathroom. And that's what I do in the mornings. I just get up and go to the bathroom. I'm not taking up the shower.
Right.
I do that at my house after I get there. We're only here for 20 minutes, okay? Basically, Bobby just gets up and brushes his teeth and goes to the bathroom, and then we leave.
Yeah.
So they would have had time afterwards. But they did not contact us, or they won't answer our texts. And basically, they could have said, hey, we're running late. We need to use that this morning. But it wasn't a quick in and out shower. It was like in there with the phone playing the whole time. And that's where there was an issue for it.
Yeah. So that really upset Chandra. And she said some things that kind of stung a little bit, but I got, I was like, I know what's going on. I know, where that's coming from frustration. That's coming from anger. And so I know that's not the Chandra that I normally see. And so I just let it go. And I've been in really abusive relationships in the past before, where, I had somebody tell me that I failed at everything I ever did. Just really hurtful stuff. And so I know how to handle things like that. I know not to take things too personally like that. And so on the way to get my coffee, we were just sitting in the car, and as I was driving, and I told her, I said, honey, are you sure that that this isn't an instance of you just pushing me to see how far you can push me, and to see if I push back at all? And you kind of laughed a little bit, and like, yeah, you're right. And
he was.
That kind of softened her heart a little bit, I think. And
I'm glad he called me out on it. And I told him later that I was glad he called me out on it. Because last week or the week before, something else had happened, and I said, I said or did something because I was pushing you a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so, so whatever.
Yeah. But the main thing is we got through it. We did not leave angry. I made sure I gave you a kiss before you left. And then you texted me while I was at work, and that meant the world to me. And work wasn't fun that day, but I don't like, having a situation where we're, frustrated with each other or fighting, and that kind of sits on your heart the whole time at work until you can
be around the other person and read them.
Yeah. And so when I got off work and I picked you up, the first thing I said was, "Are we still getting married?" And yes, you said, "Yep, we are." So, and I was, of course, I was just only joking and stuff. I know we're still getting married. It was just kind of a little icebreaker, and so we got through it, and you apologized, and I told you, I said, I forgave you as soon as you said it, and that's my belief, is you should not hold grudges against your partner. It just gets you nowhere. It gets you more frustrated and angry. And if you love that person enough, you will forgive them right away. It's not even a question.
And if you are a strong, opinionated woman and you have a tender-hearted man, you have to realize when they are trying their best, even if they're not doing whatever it is you think they need to be doing to rectify situations.
Yeah.
Because you can really hurt somebody.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. It's 5:00 in the morning. I'm not going to raise a ruckus and disturb other people.
But I did.
But you did, yes. I wasn't going to mention the slamming of the doors. And I'm serious. She was like, bam, 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 bam. Well, and I'm like, honey, you have somebody upstairs that is an innocent bystander in this. But you're like, screw it. I'm going to get everyone up,
Right.
So
I'm going to inconvenience everyone that's inconveniencing us.
Yeah. So, but basically, there are other ways to get around that. So if I have to not brush my teeth of a morning, if I can, maybe I could brush my teeth in the kitchen sink. I could have done that. If I have to go outside and go pee, I can do that.
For 2 more weeks, we hope.
Yeah.
That's when the 30-day notice to vacate is up, and if they have not moved by then, we will be serving them eviction the next day.
Yeah.
But it's really frustrating because we asked them earlier this week if they had found anything, like if we need to open up the lines of communication, and we might have talked about that text in the last episode, and
still haven't heard
still
anything.
There's just still nasty to him.
Yeah. And they were nasty to me this week, and I won't give that any credence. It's just, we could talk about it, about, what we learned at church today. But basically, it gave us, it just made us stronger as a couple. And it was a great learning tool for Chandra because it kind of taught her that next time it happens, just to realize, what's going on and to understand that things aren't as bad as they seem, and there is a way to get around it, to de-escalate things maybe a little bit. So then Thursday, we had a little podcast, or I had a podcast with a comedian named Kostaki Economopoulos. And so I came home from work a little earlier in the day, at my lunch half hour, whatever it is. And when I got here, every light in the house was on. I don't know about upstairs, but the front porch light was on, the living room light was on, the game room light was on, kitchen light was on, laundry room light was on. And so I'm just like turning off. I'm not going to let this get to me. Turn it off. And
that's when nobody was home.
Yeah, and that's when nobody was home. So, hold on. I got to fix this real quick. Something's wrong with hold on. There we go. Okay. I don't know how that happened. We don't need to do the...
No, we just need to go on.
Good. Okay. Sorry. It ain't going to affect anything. You could still see us. So anyway, so later on that day, after, the podcast went okay, Chandra sent me a message and a little picture of a deadbolt. And she had the idea of changing the deadbolt on the front door and the back, so where the roommates, the 3 roommates we have, could not have access to our front door, because we've had an issue with them not taking or not picking up after their pets after they go outside and do their business, and that gets stepped on and tracked in through the house. And so I thought that was a great idea. I was all behind it. So after work that day, we believe in the saying "fuck around and find out." Hate to use obscenities, but
but they're also leaving the front door open. Anybody that leaves deliveries or anybody else could just walk up here and walk into this computer room.
Yep.
And then the lights being left on, the dog crap and the weeds, the goat heads getting tracked in.
Yep.
And coming through all hours that they want.
Yep.
And not even acknowledging us, just like going by, slamming the door.
Yep.
And the other roommate's girlfriend just walking in whenever she wants.
Yeah.
They don't even come into the living room and the game room. Because they're only using the front door because it's closest to where they park. And so they could still access every area of this house coming in from the back door. Mm-hmm. There's just no carpet back there, and they wouldn't be tracking stuff in.
Yeah. So we got the locks, and they were actually cheaper than they were listed.
Let me say that there are already deadlocks on the door at the top and then a handle at the bottom of the lock. The only thing I did was took out the deadlock with the thumb turn and put in a deadlock that needs a key from each side. Yeah. So nobody could open that door from inside the house or outside the house and leave it open. And then when they do move out, all we have to do is flip the deadbolts when we leave, or not flip them, but lock them with the key. We don't have to worry about changing the handle bolts. So we don't have to have a guy come over here and pay him a lot of money to change the guts of the door, when we can just lock it with our key on the way out, and like nobody can come in after they're evicted. Yeah.
So I posted a thing. I think, it said, just a heads up, starting this weekend, the front door will be deadbolted and will be only for Chandra and I. All others can use the side door for entering, exiting, and getting your deliveries. We've been having too many problems with people not picking up their dog shit and tracking into the house and leaving the porch light, living room light, and the game room light on, not to mention also the kitchen light, laundry room light, and sometimes the bathroom light. The living and game room will only be for Chandra and I. All other rooms will be for everyone until you are moved out. Thank you for your compliance. And so, right after I posted that, I went back to work and I checked later, and this is the response I got. So you want our dog's paws to get covered in goat heads? Because that's all that's on the side of the house. You cannot block us from the front door. If you attempt, I'll have the sheriff out there the same. Block amenities is a felony, FYI. And, the grammar's kind of off because, vet bills will be brought to you as well. I pray you and your sake haven't changed the locks, and if you did, we better het keys. And it says het keys because they can't spell either. Het keys, otherwise the cops will be called. And so it goes on, so and so. And so I asked Chandra if she could call somebody from the sheriff's department and ask him. And she talked to was it Corporal Elliott and he said it was fine as long as they have access to the house. And that's what I put. I said, then I suggest you pull the goat head weeds and clean it up. There's goat heads everywhere. Clean it up like we cleaned up your dog shit last week. Actually, it was last month, but and I said, just spoke with Corporal Elliott, and he says we are okay locking the front door as long as there's another way to get inside. If you don't like it, you can always move out earlier. And Chandra had made the comment to me Tuesday morning about my other ball not dropping because I wouldn't stand up and say anything at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I told Chandra after I posted, I said, I think my other ball just dropped.
And he felt so good and empowered.
Yeah, well, it's just ridiculous. I mean, they want to neglect their dogs, not take them out to the dog park, but then they worry about goat heads when it's convenient for them, And yeah, I mean, these
dogs, one is a pug mix, and the other one is a big, heavy dog over 100 pounds. Those dogs don't get to go out during the weekend when they're home or at night. They have to sit there cooped up in one room.
Yeah.
It's a one room that's only small and big enough for one person, yet there's two people. And so, like, yeah, that's...
I just feel bad for those dogs. And, I was going to say something. I forgot what it was now. So they also want to stay up in their rooms and play their games and video games or whatnot, play on their computers. Because both of them have computers. They run their network cables to the internet router over here.
That Bobby pays for. But then Bobby's a piece of shit and a cocksucker. Yeah.
Can you say?
I can say cocksucker on my podcast if I want, because it is not for children.
Okay, there you go. So I passed.
Nobody calls my fiance a cocksucker in his own house and gets away with it.
That's right. And then they also called you a second waste of oxygen, and I won't stand for that either. So at least I think that's what they were mentioning, because their spelling was really off on that too. So that's what I...
This is coming from a 33-year-old woman and a 27-year-old man.
Mm-hmm. And they tell me I need to grow the F up. So anyway, yeah. I think a lot of it is projection. They're projecting their faults onto me. Because, I mean, if you looked into the laundry room in the back there, they still have clothes on the floor. There's clothes on the.
Let me tell you something, ladies. Then this is coming from a 50-year-old woman. If you live in a house with your boyfriend and two other men, one is 55 and one is in his 30s, and you're 33 years old, you do not leave your crusty panties laying on the bathroom floor where every other man in the house can see it.
Right. That's just...
And if you're a man, you don't leave your drawers laying in the middle of the bathroom for weeks. The first week I came over here, his underwear were laying there for 2 weeks, and her panties were in there in the walk where we're now asking them to leave the house in front of the washing machine, laying open, come on, dried, crusty underwear for a week. And guess where they are now? There are all those underwear in the trash because I'm not dealing with it.
Right. So, you got to take pride in yourself. Take pride in your belongings, and just like I said before, you have to be considerate of others, and their the living spaces. So, they're not perfect, and so they're projecting all this stuff on me, and I can see it for what it is. And I'm not hurt. I'm doing really good. We're really happy. We have this. We're getting this house to where we are really happy with it, and it's becoming more of a home for you too. So, and then so Friday we had a little date night, and we went to a CSI basketball game, and we were still a little stressed about this.
Fun.
It was a lot of fun, but I was still a little stressed because I was like, oh man, how is this weekend going to go? I was really stressed about that, and I even got another nasty text from the male roommate, half of the partner or whatever relationship that's going on up there. And told me that I need to grow the F up. Well, I'm sorry, but you're still projecting that, you're not taking care of your dog and you're leaving clothes on the floor. And, your mom does not live here. Maybe it's you that need to grow up. So anyway, I think I'm doing just fine. So anyway, you show our t-shirts off.
Solidarity.
There you go. So, in case you are listening to this, we are wearing our couples t-shirts. today.
Our engagement t-shirt.
Yes. So if you want to see it, check out the YouTube video. Anyway, so the weekend came, Saturday came. They were both at work. I don't even remember hearing them leave. We did things on Saturday too.
Yeah.
So we weren't home the whole day, but that evening came.
No, they did leave through the front door because I heard them.
Okay, so they did leave through the front door Saturday morning.
I was actually sitting there when the female walked by the couch.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Saturday evening, we're sitting on the couch watching a movie, I believe. And I was thinking, okay, should we have the deadbolt locked? And Chandra was going like, no, let's wait and see how things go. And sure enough, it was a surprise to me, but they came in through the side door. And, well, actually, one did. The single guy did.
Right.
He came home first. And I was like, okay, well, good for him. And he took his dog out through the side door. And the couple came home a few minutes later, and they came in through the side door. Took their dog out, once again, through the side door. And I was like, well, I'm impressed at that as well. And I'm sorry if I'm spitting too. I'm trying to work on it. So anyway, so even when we don't have the deadbolt on, they come in through the side door.
Yeah, it was a surprise. And
so that was really cool. That was a good feeling. That was like, okay, we squashed that issue, that demon or whatever. And so, which leads us to our discussion at church today, our lesson at church. Do you want to take over on that?
Sure. So for the last 3 weeks, they have been talking about demons. Okay. And so it was titled this time, Beware of Demons, Breaking Free, Part 3. And just to sum it up, they said demons are thieves.
Yes.
Demons,
we've had things taken from this house.
But I think it also means happiness, respect, value.
Yes.
Number 2, it means they are vicious in how they go about it, and they're cunning. And so the first thing I noticed, and I'm new to church, so I don't know like a lot about who the peoples were and why things happen the way they happen. You know, I'm still learning, right? It's been like 2 months we've been going. So anyway, under the first thing that I saw, it said, then it goes and brings along, I'm sorry, that wasn't the first thing. First thing I saw was Chaldeans, a bitter and hasty nation, which marches through the breadth of earth to possess dwelling places that are not theirs. And immediately that made me think of the tenants. And it says demonic influence are working through these people. Well, no, I had written that I felt like this was demonic influence working through these people on our insecurities. Because when it talks about them being thieves, it came to my mind that they rob you of confidence, they rob you of your happiness, they rob you of your peace because they cause conflict, and they cause doubt. Like, because they'll say something to us, and then we'll say something back to them. And then, so it just keeps going back and forth. And so that causes, like, the bitterness, the fighting it caused between us. It's probably causing fights between them too. But then in this place, it also, the pastor said himself, demons are wanderers and squatters. And there's this passage in the Bible where it says, I will return to my house from which I came. When it comes, it finds it's empty, swept, and put in order. Then it goes and brings along 7 other spirits more evil than itself, like exasperating this tension between us, and they enter and live there. And so these other demons, I'm thinking, are like jealousy, contempt, hate, self-doubt, ego, pride, all these things, that go back and forth with what we're thinking about them, what they're thinking about us, and it's escalating the problems in the house and the tension. And basically he said that the house was someone's spirit, and then the last state of that person is worse than the first, when the more bitterness and the escalation comes. So I just thought that was totally intriguing, and where we had been fighting back and forth with them, the pettiness, this just trying to cause contempt and hate and everything going on in this house.
Yeah.
We got to squash that.
Yeah.
So that's really great for this Thinkin podcast, because we just have to not feed into it.
No.
And it's hard when you're angry, but...
Yeah, and that's the same thing my VA counselor said during my appointment with her on Thursday, is you can't feed into it. If you do, it gives them more satisfaction. And so we are not going to let that happen. So, anyway, I put in a prayer request too, because I know that you're supposed to pray for your enemies too. I believe it says that somewhere in the Bible. So I put in a prayer request for them to be on their way.
Yeah, and we realize the way they're acting out, why they're acting out, is because they're scared that they have to find a new place to live within 30 days. We know that's difficult. So they're scared, they're angry. They might be embarrassed that, we're cleaning up and they're still like something is possessing them to keep acting that way instead of just getting over it. Like maybe their inability to do it. They're young. I don't know. But we know also that there's reasons that they do that. And those are the little demons: anger, jealousy, frustration,
right?
All that stuff.
Yeah. No, but that was our week, and
so what are we going to do different this next week? We have two weeks until we get married on the 20th, and they're supposed to be out 6 days before that.
I forgot to mention one thing.
Yeah.
We got our marriage license on Friday.
Oh, yes.
That was huge. It was such a cool event, and I don't know why we almost forgot to mention it.
Is it because, did we mention last time that you actually are divorced now?
I think so. I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I did mention that. Or if I didn't, guess what? I'm divorced now.
And then we went down and got our marriage license only a couple days after that. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Didn't the divorce go through on Tuesday? Did we get the letter on Tuesday, or was it Monday?
Monday or Tuesday we got the letter, and then Wednesday or Thursday we got the license. I don't know. Too much stuff to keep track of days. But.
Yeah. But that was great, and I just know that as long as Jesus is at the center of our life and the center of our marriage, we cannot fail, and we won't fail.
No, it helps us. Church helps us work through so many of our problems. It just gives us faith that this situation here isn't going to be permanent forever. No. And these are just, we would probably encounter these problems between each other anyway, how to deal with, I want you to do something, but no, with each other, the power struggle. There's still power struggles between men and women. Yeah. So, it would have happened anyway, so why not work on it now and get it figured out? Yeah. Each other. So, yeah. So, shall we just end the podcast there? Yeah. All right, cool. Well, thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. And, if you're watching this on YouTube, just hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is Robert and Chandra saying peace be with you. And have a great week. We'll talk to you next week. Bye. Bye.